convert story and how I converted to Islam and how that has, or how the stuff that I went through in my life has contributed to me being who I am. So it's going to be a little mixture of who I am and that at the same time. So to start off, I'll start from, I'm not going to go into too much detail just because, you know, I like to keep some things private, but I will go into as much as I can to make it interesting and just to let you guys kind of know. Sorry, I'm just going to adjust this quick. Who it is that I am. Okay, so I would say, obviously, I've said it in a lot of my videos, and you can see by my channel, Life with Ash. So, Muslim name, I go by Asli or Asha. However, I don't really use that name. It's more just like Ashley. But so I'm going to start by talking about the things in me converting. Okay, so when I was younger, basically, I'm going to go, it can take forever to talk about it, so I'm just going to kind of glimpse through it. So when I was younger, unfortunately, I was taken away from my mother. And I would say I was around probably 10 turning 11, I would say. So I had a really hard time during that age. Now, let me just get this out here. My mom was the best mom I've ever had in my life. However, you know, people go through times in their life where they have their ups and they have their downs, and you know, even till this day, she's such an amazing woman. I just feel like at that time, we were both going through our own thing. I, as a 9-year-old, you would never think I was 9. I was getting into trouble. I was robbing people. I was trying to hurt myself. it was a really bad time in my life. So, I would say around, so that started all around probably 10, where it started going downhill. So I would roam the streets, I would do whatever I have to do at that age, and you know, I kept getting picked up by the police. I kept calls from school. I wasn't doing well in school. I would run away from I would go to school, run away, teachers would have to look for me, and it was just a whole thing. So eventually, yes, I was taken away. And what led up to that was I was admitted twice into the hospital because so the first time I tried to hurt myself, and I don't know if that's just because when I was a younger child I just wanted attention, which I think it obviously was, and the second time, so when I was going wild, not listening, basically being very defiant, breaking the rules, doing whatever it was I was doing, they tried to send me to go see my aunt who lives in Renfrew, near Killaloe. I don't know if anyone knows where that is. And I was like, oh, hell no. As a kid, you're getting taken and going to be placed somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So I basically took some of my aunt's pills, ended up taking them. They had to airlift me. No, not airlift. They had to send me from an ambulance to the small little Killaloe hospital to Chio. I admitted. And then I was apprehended by Child Protective Services. Now, when I was apprehended, that was probably the worst day of my life, to be quite honest. I felt almost you know, what the heck, what's going on? How can this lady who's coming with a book, she had a paper, or how can this lady just come and say, oh, I'm apprehending you, and then take you away from your mother, you know? And guys, no matter how your mother is, what she does, she's your mother. At the end of the day, there's no better place to be. Whether you think it's horrible now or how horrible it was, whatever, it's the place to be, okay? So anyways, she apprehended me there, and then I was placed into St. Mary's Group Homes, which is located in Ottawa, Ontario. And obviously at that age I was very confused. I was like, oh my god, I just got taken away. I didn't get to see my mom the whole time I was there. So I went to this group home, my first one. I'll never forget it. I walk in and I'm confronted by 4 staff. It's an all-girls group home in the middle of nowhere. So I go in and I'm obviously confused and like just a confused kid. They show me to my room. I feel so out of place. I feel hurt. I feel distraught. I just cried and cried and cried. And then I decided, you know what, I'm running away. So I ran away multiple times, switched me to another group home because they couldn't handle me. So, and guys, I wasn't like, it's not that I was a bad kid. It's like, you know, when kids get hurt, that's how you they act out when they're hurting or when they're going through stuff. Like, I don't know how they expect a kid who gets taken away, they're raised and they're loved by their mom, and they you know, they go through all this stuff, and then all of a sudden you're taking them away, whether they're in like a bad environment or not. Like, you're gonna, it's a whole life altering thing. Like, I don't know if people actually get how the severity is of doing something like that. So anyways, I end up going to the second home, and you know, again, kept running away, and they said, okay, that's it. Like, and when I mean running away, like, I mean running away, like not coming back for like 5 days, 2 weeks, and the only place I would go is to my mom's. I'd go back, and of course she's not going to tell on me. She's my mom, and she missed me, and you know, she's shocked just as much as I'm shocked. And you know, so that's how I got to see her. Is I would run, and I would continue until they're like, you know what, I'm sending you to Robert Smart, which is like another group home, but it's more like behavioral based. Okay, so it's like there's a locked facility, and then there's open group homes. Okay, so I went to both because I was a flight risk. I was, you know, certain things happened, which again, I'm not going to go into crazy detail, but certain things happened in my life. I had to be there. So I went, and then they moved me to the group homes like within that organization. So I have to say, guys, as soon as I turned 12, this all happened within a year, all these moves, okay? Once I turned 12, they placed me into this group home. And now at first, I was a nuisance. I was lost. Again, I hated everybody. I hated everything. I just wanted to leave. You know, I want to leave, and then I would want attention. So, you know, I would pretend to like want to hurt myself, but in my head I knew I didn't want to hurt myself, and it was just a whole crazy thing. So I ended up eventually, guys, so I got into sports. Okay, well, actually, reverse of it a little bit. So as I was in the group home, I didn't go to school probably for 2 years. Okay, so I was behind, because I had just come out from grade 7, I think it was 6 or 7, and that's when I was placed. So, anyways, once I got to high school, they put me in Woodruff High School, but they put me in a program for people with whether it's physical disabilities or learning disabilities, whatever it is. It's that class. It's the class there. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, it was a class because they assumed that, you know, like I fit, like I'm not going to listen, I'm not going to pay attention, there's no point on me trying. So it's true, the first like half a year I went there, I didn't try, I didn't care about life. Like I said, I was a hurt kid, you know. So as time went on, I started to get into sports. I would go to the rink across the street. We lived in a really nice neighborhood in Prince of Wales. The group home was located in a really nice neighborhood. So I ended up going there, starting to get into sports, extracurriculars, ended up moving to the school right beside it. I had a few issues and hiccups, and then went to Woodruff. I proved myself. I proved to them that, hey, I'm worthy of trying to get integrated into the regular classrooms. So I went, got integrated, got my credits, ended up going on the basketball team, joining track and field, ended up being a pretty successful student within the high school, did almost every sports team, excelled at it greatly, had many opportunities to even like continue my sports career, and you know, I was at a point in my life where I'm like, holy crap, there's a purpose. And at that time I started reaching out to my mom, and you know, I started building that relationship, like not physically. And by the way, that whole time between 11 and probably 16, I didn't see my mom once. Okay, so And then at around, I think it was 15 or 16, when was it? Was it grade, was it grade 10? I think it might have, no, grade 11. It was a grade 11. No, grade 10. So before I got integrated, there was a teacher who helped me a lot. Like, guys, like, he took me to Florida. He took me to Disney World with his family. Like, it was an amazing experience. Like, something a kid would never, like, some kids don't ever get to experience that, and I was able to. He saw something in me, so he took me under his wing. And then he had a friend, and I'm not going to name them just because it's just confidentiality, and it's just not, I don't know if they would want me to or not, so it's just a respect thing. So then there was another teacher that was like, you know what, why don't you come and live with my family? Because I know you live in a group home, because I was still in the group home while I was in school. They're like, I know you're in a group home, and I don't think it's a great environment for you to be in while you're going through high school, which was true, because, guys, like, the group home I was in, it's not one of your regular group homes. You have high-risk kids, you have drama all the time, and it's just like you basically have to fight for your life. Like, not that you're gonna get killed or something, but you just have to fight to, like, feel comfortable, you know? So he sat down, he's like, hey, I want to invite you to come live with me and my family. At first I'm like, wow, okay. And this is a teacher, right? So at first I'm like, whoa, you know, that's crazy. Like, do I take it? Do I not? Because at that point, guys, I was doing so well, and I started to get used to my group home and get used to the staff, and I absolutely started loving the staff because they just helped me through everything. And then all of a sudden I was like faced with this decision of like, do I stay in the group home and not suffer, but like continue how it's being, just kind of on a baseline? Or do you take this wonderful opportunity and go and live with actually a family setting, a positive family setting where, like, you know, I'm living in a well area and things are taken care of. I can enjoy my sports. I can look for a job. I can do all these things that I never thought that I would ever do, guys. It like that was never in my head to ever do for my future, right? So what happened was I took the offer. So I think once I took it, probably like a few months later, I ended up moving in to an amazing house in the Glebe. Like, they took me under their wing, and it was absolutely amazing. I stayed there probably for a year. And then so I stayed there for a year. They had two lovely daughters who I called basically like my foster sisters, I guess, because they were kind of like a foster family that took me under their wings. So we got really, really close. We fought like sisters. We did all that stuff like sisters. And then some other stuff happened, like some stuff happened between us. And I decided, you know, it was my time. So I went at around 17, turning 18, I decided to move in with my aunt, because she had offered, hey, like, you know, you're 17, like, do you want to come move in with me, and then I would help pay the rent or what have you. So I took that offer because I just wanted to spread my wings. I was always like an independent person, and I just felt like very in people's space, you know. I was too much in their space, that I just needed to spread my wings, and they were very upset. And you know, I tried emailing them and telling them how much I appreciated them, and they just weren't having it. So I did try my best, and I thank them every single day, because like I don't think I would necessarily be successful if I didn't have that step in life, if you know what I mean. So if I didn't get that extra help, get that extra hand, or that, you know, because they did do a lot, right? They did a lot. They like gave me the courage to go to basketball and, you know, play soccer, because like the dad was a soccer coach, so I would just play on their team, and he hooked me up with a bunch of training with amazing goalkeepers and whatnot. So it was a good experience. However, you know, some experiences last not very long, right? Like I had to go with my gut. I had to go with my feelings. I didn't want to be there anymore. So, and I was at the age where I could make that decision, right? So I did. I went with my aunt. Things started going up from there. I just lived life, went to college, decided I wanted to be a developmental service worker. And what like makes that so significant is, guys, I grew up with kids with mental health, developmental disabilities, dual diagnosis, different varieties of mental illnesses and what have you. And like, it just, I don't know, it made me want to be in the field and help kids like myself who kind of went through those trials and tribulations and went through these things, because I don't know, it takes a strong person to help kids who are going through that. It really does. And I appreciate every single staff and every single child and youth worker, every single developmental service worker. I respect you guys. You guys are amazing people, and you know, I'm a success story in a way. I really am. Like, I went through all that stuff, and not a lot of people understand, right? Not a lot of people would get it. They would look at me and be like, "Oh, you're so amazing." Like, you know, I don't look like that type, but you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Like, yes, I went through all that stuff in my life, but am I moping around? No, I'm not. Like, you have to, you know, get your stuff together, be a happy person, be a positive person. And that's the whole reason why I promote positivity, positive vibes, guys. So yeah, ended up being a DSW, went to school for that in 2012. I started my first semester. Then throughout that time, I actually met my husband, my current husband, who is absolutely amazing. I met him while I was living at my aunt's. He was just amazing. You know, he didn't judge me. I told him everything that happened, and you know, and I always used to think, you know, people are gonna think like I'm crazy. Didn't judge me. Didn't do nothing. And so actually, no, rewind a little bit more actually. So before I met him, throughout because that's the convert story ties in. So I saw him probably when I was 17, because I used to go to Shisha. Now Shisha is the hookah bar place, okay? So I walked in, and I wasn't Muslim at all. One of my friends just introduced it to me. So I went in, and we ended up talking. It was so random. Like, he was doing some consulting and wanted me to do a speech about, you know, my situations, like what I went through. I'm like, yeah, no problem. Years later, okay, because I started to hang out and play basketball throughout the community and play. That's basically what it was. Different parts of the city would play against each other and whatnot, and there was a lot of hijabis. Hijabis meaning a lot of Muslims. I was friends with a lot of Muslims, and I started reading on the religion, and you know, I started becoming more spiritual with myself and just with the way I wanted to live life. I started to kind of just fall in love with the religion. I started reading, and I realized, hey, with my situation, like, you know, I felt empty. I felt like there was always something that I believed that was there, but I didn't know what. And as soon as I started reading and, you know, seeking my knowledge and, you know, gaining that knowledge from the books and about Islam, I fell in love. It is such a peaceful religion. It brought me so much peace in my life, and I will never ever regret doing so. It is the best decision I have ever made, regardless of all the hate that's out there. It's probably one of the best decisions I've ever made. And yeah, so then after that is when I met my husband. He saw me then after probably a year with a hijab on, ended up being like, hey, do you remember me? I was like, no. And then, long story short, we ended up dating for a while, and then got married, and then we've been married ever since. He's an amazing man, and that's that. That is my kind of getting to know me and how I am the person I am today, how I am the mother today. So in 2012, I ended up taking my DSW program, actually, and then I did the first year. And then I got pregnant with my first baby boy, had him September 2013, and then was still in school, still pushing through. And then I had my next boy, my baby Zakaria, in April. So I ended up taking a year, okay? A year break. actually a few years, because I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I kind of stayed home and, you know, dealt with the kids. And then I went into nursing. I didn't like the nursing program, again, because I'm so into the hands-on DSW work. And I'm not saying nurses aren't hands-on, but I'm saying the interaction between a DSW and the family, and this is a lot different. It's a lot less clinical than it is than you would be as a nurse. So I ended up dropping that, and then I decided to finish. So I currently have one class left to officially finish my program. However, I have been working in the field for about a year. I have a private client that I work with who's absolutely amazing, and I work with an organization that works with adults and children with developmental disabilities, and I absolutely love it. So that is about what that's just me. And guys, I still love playing basketball. I still love playing soccer. I continue to do so. I absolutely love it. I will always love it. I will always play. And that's what I do. I'm a sport mom, and I just have a routine. I go to basketball, come home, take care of my kids, feed them, and do all the extracurriculars with them. And that's who I became today. And I feel like I've become a good mom because of the stuff that I went through, because I've seen, and I'm not saying like my mom, again, I love her to death. She is the best person that has ever, she's always been there for me, whether people think it or not. Oh, they're gonna think, oh, then why'd you get taken? That has nothing to do with my mom loving me, caring for me, feeding me. She was an amazing mom, I'm telling you, and I will never put her down. She's an amazing mom. So I'm just saying that, guys, like, with anything that you've experienced, any hardships, use those hardships to just, you know, plow through any obstacles that are in your way. Because guys, life is too short to use excuses or use your life experiences as excuses, because, you know, people don't care about that. People aren't going to care. They're not going to care just, oh, I was in group, like, you know, if I said, oh, I'm in group home, so I'm just going to be depressed. No, you know, I've decided to use the stuff that I've been through and put it into a positive way. So sports, going to the gym, doing any other hobby that I like to do, you know, having my kids, getting married, that stuff that I wanted to do and I craved, and I wanted to have that family, that, you know, that family that I'm not going to say that I never had, but that I missed out on for many, many years. You know, I didn't have that family for many, many years. So this is just a little glimpse into how I became who I am today, what has happened, and a little bit about myself. I hope you guys like this video. This is pretty good. Like, I can do this often. It's kind of like a venting stress relief, to be honest. So I feel super amazing. That was a great session. And yes, I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys all, no matter what you go through, just stay positive, stay strong, because, you know, there's gonna be that day that comes, and you're just gonna, you know, get up that day and push through any obstacles. I'm telling you, you know, us women, we are strong. We are strong people. We can do anything in this world. So again, guys, thank you so much. If you like my videos, please comment down below, give it a thumbs up, and press that subscribe button, and give me any suggestions, any questions, anything you want to know, and I will definitely show you that content. I hope you like this video, and please, guys, have an amazing night, and good night, everybody. Bye.